Hi there. These comments are for EB, and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-Step System to Pass a TOEFL IBT. And as part of your speaking practice and improvement, you completed a pronunciation pretest for vowel and consonant sounds. And in this video, I'm going to listen to your pretest, part A and part B, and I will explain to you exactly which vowel and consonant sounds you need to practice more in my course. I'll also listen to part B as you answer those personal experience questions, after which I will give you an intelligibility score. All right, so let's get started.
7. Pot, boat, wrong, grow, honor, over, father, dough.
Okay.
Lesson 8. Part, pot, map, mob, tack, talk, on.
Notice it's tack, talk, not talk, but tack, talk, map, mop.
Map, mock.
So I think on the not the mo, but mock, I think you can work on that second sound in lesson number 8. Now, I advise you to take notes. Write down my recommendation so you know what you need to study. Here we go.
Lesson 9. Bright, brown, boil, lie, loud, lawyer, pie, pound. Lesson 10. Gate, get, late, let, mate, met.
Now, my recommendation on lesson 10 is to make, excuse me, the long vowels sound longer. So gate, get, mate, met.
Blade, bled, dean, den.
That last sound is dane, den. So these are all the same sounds. Gate, late, mate, blade, dane.
Lesson 11. Meet, meet, pit, pete.
Now, this is very tough for you. Lesson 11, it's meet, met, peat, pit.
Leap, leap, sit, sit, eat, eat.
This is very tough. You definitely need to practice both sounds in lesson number 11.
Lesson 12. Look, look, lock, took, two, tough, could, cool.
Yeah, I think look, took, Luke, luck. So I think lesson 12, you can focus on these vowel sounds. I'm going to write this down.
Lesson 13. March.
No, it's lesson 13.
Sheep.
So remember that
Feature.
when you say 13, the numbers of teen, the stress is on the second syllable, not the first.
Lesson 13. March. March. Sheep. Sheep. Feature. Visual. Chart. Shout. Share. Share. Lesson.
Yeah, I think on this one, lesson 13, maybe the medial, feature, fisher, cheer, shear. So I think you can work on your intelligibility with the CH and the SH consonant sound.
Hof. Hof. How. Out. Fine. Vine. Fun. Fun.
Okay, so I think the V, when it's in the beginning of the word like this, you need to vibrate that sound more. So fine, vine, vine. Or you have the next pair, fan, van. So I think you can work on lesson 14 specifically on pronouncing the V more clearly when it's in the beginning of the word. That's what you want to focus on in that lesson.
Warfare, weaver. Lesson 15. How, habit, wool,
Remember, lesson 15.
rehash, behavior. 8. Batman,
Okay, be careful when the H, in many cases, not all, but generally we pronounce the H in the beginning. Horse, hate, hat, huge.
beaten, important, brighten, attract, threaten.
Okay, what I want you to work on here, lesson 15, is the glottal stop, that T in the middle of the word. For example, Batman, bitten, important, brightening, hat rack, threatened. So you can work on that sound. Now, even though you may not pronounce it, if you pronounce it as a T, it's not a major problem, but I just want you to be aware that that is a sound in American English that we have. All right, let's keep going.
Lesson 16. Major, measure, fragile, fragile.
That was tough. Fragile, Frazier, Frazier.
Legion, lesion.
Legend, lesion, lesion.
Engine, azure, large, Asia.
Okay, not bad, but I think you had some trouble with that palatal consonant, the j. Measure, Frazier, lesion. You had some trouble with that sound.
Lesson 17. Cake, curd, sink, sock, clean, gain, carb, carb, leg, log. Lesson 18.
Okay,
Lean, rear, better, luggage, rug.
take that word luggage and then rugged. It's actually two syllables, not one. Rugged.
Order, right, light, committed.
Okay,
Lesson 19. Pays, base, flap, flap, carb, cup, lap, lamp, pay, bay.
the difficulty here with lesson 17 is when the P and the B are at the end of the word. The only way you can understand the difference is if you make the one vowel sound longer, like this: lap, lab, flap, flab, cap, cab. So usually, Esther, if the B's at the end of the word, because it's a voice consonant, it makes the vowel longer, which precedes it. That way we can look at the two words cap, cab, and we can understand the difference there.
Lesson 20. Lies, lies, zip, zip, sue, zoo, maze, maze, Eliza, Eliza. Lesson
Okay.
21. Multiple, Robert. Example, prayer, principle, number, people, philosopher.
Don't forget that word pressure, pressure.
Lesson 22. Volcanism, rating, maximum, question, summa, reason, chism, often. Lesson 23. Tip, dip, card, card, tight, tide, train, drain, fart, fart, team, drain.
So again, the same thing, kind of like the P and the B. When the D's at the end of the word, you're going to make the vowel before it longer. So you'll say fat, fad, cart, card, tight, tide.
Lesson 24. Tie, die, break, break.
No, it's thigh, thy. Breath, breathe.
Tree, tit, tit, true.
No, teeth, teeth. So the interdental consonant
Do,
is one that you want to work on.
wally.
All right, so thank you for completing part A of the pretest. So I've jotted down some notes here. I'm sure that you have too. And remember that as you go through my online course, whatever the lesson is, I encourage you to take notes on what you see or what you read. It's important. Get in the habit of writing down information. If you do that, you will improve your language use, which means your grammar vocabulary gets stronger. You develop an ability to learn how to note take, which is important for all sections of the test, right? And it helps you become an active learner. So these things are all good. Okay, here are the lessons that you want to focus on the most with my vowel sounds. Lesson number 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 23, and finally lesson number 24. All right, let's take a look at the pretest part B. So you're answering 3 specific questions. What is your educational background and your work history? Why is it important for you to improve your speaking and pronunciation abilities of American English? What do you hope to achieve in this course? So there's 3 different things that you're answering here. And this also gives me further information about your speaking and intelligibility
Be
of
of
American
best
English.
pronunciation. My name is Esther Babala. My educational background is I started from primary school.
Now, the main thing when you do more of these practice tests, I'm going to be hearing from you, I'm guessing probably 3 or 4 times a week. Speak louder and speak more clearly because that helps me to evaluate your pronunciation much better. And I can give you some suggestions on what you need to do in order to reduce your non-native speaker accent.
Went to secondary school. I've finished secondary school like 6 years ago. And I've enrolled to lots of exams like international exams. I have been able to make more progress concerning.
Okay. Now, part of what I'm noticing here is when you're speaking English, you're using more of the same tone. I studied English at the university and then I worked at a company for several years. And finally, after that, I decided to do some TOEFL preparation studies. But remember that you got to change that tone. You must vary your intonation. Now, because you're recording your voice right now, this is very good practice. You have to do exactly the same thing for the TOEFL IBT exam. So if you learn how to vary your intonation now, working with me, then you'll be much more likely to vary your intonation when you're taking the actual TOEFL IBT exam and you're going to score higher.
Professional exams and external exam, even though I haven't gone to college for it. Work history, I don't have any work history. Work history, I don't really have one. I'm just going to.
Okay.
Number 2, it is important for me to improve my speaking now.
Try that word important. It is important for me.
Pronunciation abilities of American English because I want to write TOEFL and also I want to.
Now, usually in different countries, they may say write the TOEFL, but in American English, we usually will say, I will take or complete the TOEFL exam.
Learn how to speak well, to be able to speak real phonetics and not just to speak, 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 speak in a way that doesn't make me a real English speaker.
Okay.
I really want to be a good speaker of English with the phonetics. Okay, thank you. Number 3.
Okay, so you're saying that you want to reach near native speaker fluency. right? So it's going to take some time. Now, for you, everything you do right now focuses around English. What does that mean? That means change all your computer settings in English. Change all your phone settings in English, right? That means watching maybe 4 or 5 movies each week. Each movie is around 2 hours. That's very good practice for your English. And you're finding opportunities to speak English every week.
I hope to achieve a lot.
And that's going to be very important for you because it will help you to speak more naturally and to speak with near native speaker fluency.
Not only on my TOEFL exam, I want to achieve more, like going
Okay.
to the extent of being grounded well in English, pronunciation, grammar, writing, to be good at English when it comes to all aspects of it, to be able to speak well, to be
All
able to
right.
write well, to be able to read well, to have good pronunciation. Thank you.
All right. And thank you for completing the pretest. So you did part A. I gave you comments on that. You just completed part B by answering the 3 personal experience questions. So on a scale of 1 to 7, 7 being a native speaker, 1 being a high beginner, so you're having some problems with your pronunciation, specifically in part B, a lot of intonation issues. You're speaking a lot in with a similar tone or monotone, and also maybe some pacing issues. You have some pauses and some hesitations. And we also know from part A, you have some specific vowel and consonant sounds that you want to work on. Your score here, your intelligibility score, I'm going to put you at about 3.7. So this is going to be tough. It's going to take some time for you to improve your speaking, but thank you for completing this pretest.